The Bowlingotter Show.
Alright, the E3 conferences are over. This is the time we wait for every year as a gamer, and we saw a lot of really cool things, and maybe didn't see some things that we wanted to see, but let's do a little bit of a recap of what we saw in the conferences this year. Alright, let's start with the Microsoft conference. Open things up with Halo 4, looks cool, good to see it back, looks like a Halo game. This is a game I think we'll all try. It was a nice way to open things up. Splinter Cell Blacklist looks sharp. That was another good showing by them. It was good to see some solid gameplay from that one. EA Sports was talking a lot about using Kinect for voice commands for FIFA and Madden, which was really cool. Joe Montana came on stage actually to demo it, and it looks like it works very well, particularly for Madden. You can call individual plays, audibles, flip plays, hike the ball. I think some of the most effective things that come out of this hardware so far have been the voice recognition, and it works very well in a game like Madden to be able to call individual plays. Obviously, you're not going to want to use that if you're sitting next to your buddy when you're playing, but it would be great for playing against a computer or playing against somebody else online. That's a pretty nice feature. Fable, The Journey, it's Kinect on rail stuff. I'm not going to get excited about that. There's a new Gears of War game. How can that not be awesome? Didn't really get a good look at the gameplay though. It was all just cinematics, but you know, all you have to do is say Gears of War. People are going to get excited. Epic's behind it. It'll be a good game, I'm sure. The whole smart glass thing was cool. Spanning the OS across multiple devices. Everyone seems to be on board with that idea this year, especially after the Wii U came out with the tablet integration. So it's more of that. Internet Explorer coming to Xbox. At least it's a real browser, but come on, who actually uses Internet Explorer if they have a choice, if they use anything else? So I don't know if you really want to brag about that one too much, but it's a legitimate browser coming to a console. It's a step in the right direction, I suppose. New Tomb Raider looks awesome. I think this was the high point. I know it's a multi-plat, but it looks great. Very excited to play this game after watching the lengthy demonstration they had there. Resident Evil 6 looks cool, but the demonstration also looked like one long, quick-time event, so I feel like we didn't get a good feel for what that game's going to be about. Trey Parker and Matt Stone presented South Park, The Stick of Truth. That's awesome. These guys are great. The game looks just like the cartoon. The humor is completely intact. Hard to tell much about the gameplay. It looks really much like a turn-based RPG. Usher came on stage to perform to promote Dance Central 3. He did his entire song. And he was actually dancing simultaneously with the game on the big screen behind him to some of the moves that would be along to his song in Dance Central 3. It's a big budget name. I'm sure it looks good to investors, so a good move on Microsoft. And then Black Ops 2 looks like a Call of Duty game. Basically means it's going to be really fun and exciting shooter. It'll sell like crazy. It's not going to break any new ground, but it'll be fun. Always is. And they showed off some cool vehicles that'd be really great if they made their way into multiplayer. It'd actually be a big answer to Battlefield 3. My conclusion on the Microsoft conference, it was basically a ton of games. Lots of Kinect stuff, as expected. No, not much real new hardware or anything introduced at all. The games look good, but they were almost all sequels to existing franchises. The highest point, again, I thought was the Tomb Raider demo, and that's a multi-plat, so I don't know how much that says for Microsoft there. Some good stuff to look forward to, nothing crazy exciting coming out of that. Now for the EA conference. Dead Space 3. I'm a fan of the Dead Space games. It looks cool and all, but it kind of looks like it's a departure from what we're used to in the last couple games. Didn't look like much of an emphasis on horror, looked like a whole lot of emphasis on fast-paced shooting and co-op action. Not thrilled about that. I know we didn't see a ton of the game, and all we could see is what the trailer wanted to highlight, but from what we saw of it, did not show me what I wanted to see from a Dead Space game, personally. Not really into Facebook games, but SimCity Social looks pretty fleshed out. That might be a game I'd take a look into. But on the same tip for SimCity, the new one looks awesome. The glass box engine looks great. You can actually see people walking around on the sidewalks. It's the first multiplayer SimCity. The choices you make affect not only your city, but surrounding cities as well. After seeing the trailer for this one, I'm itching for it. I am very ready for a new SimCity game. That was a huge announcement. Battlefield 3 Premium. You know they had to try to cash on this somehow, but it looks like you do get a lot for your money in this. You get early access to new maps, 5 new expansion packs, and all of these expansion packs are apparently going to be available over the next 9 months. That's a whole lot of content. 5 expansion packs in 9 months. Star Wars The Old Republic's getting a new planet. It's already going free to play up to level 15. They were trying to brag about how well the game is doing. I think we all know that they took a huge dip, so I guess going free to play, it's worked for everybody else. Why wouldn't it work for Star Wars The Old Republic? Electronic Arts is making a UFC game. That's awesome. If you know me, you know I'm a gigantic MMA fan. I've been watching for a long time. I tweet about it all the time. And I liked THQ's UFC games. They were fun. But I thought the EA MMA game was better in almost every way when that came out. It just didn't have the huge UFC names. I was disappointed when EA MMA was going offline. I thought that was going to be it. This is huge news that EA is now partnering with UFC to get the MMA games on the right platform, in my opinion. Need for Speed Most Wanted was announced. I wouldn't be that excited if it was Black Box, but it's Criterion, and that's a huge reason to be excited. If you play the Burnout games, they're awesome. If you play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, they're great. As long as Criterion is behind it, it's always good news as far as racing game goes, so I will try that one myself. Crysis 3 was showing off. Super impressive visuals, as expected from CryEngine. Incredible detail on the guns and environments. Very, very fluid movement. Great demo, looks very exciting. Highlighted the bow and arrow, looks pretty cool. I loved Crysis 1. Crysis 2 is a great game, has surprisingly good multiplayer. Certainly be front in line to play Crysis 3 when that one comes out as well. Conclusion for this one was there's a lot of great things under the EA banner. A really solid look at a really solid lineup. Lots to be excited about. Personally, my #1 announcement was Electronic Arts joining with the UFC to make a legitimately great MMA game, and this new SimCity game. I think both of them are absolute must-plays. Now the Ubisoft conference. Flo Rida came out to do a performance to promote Just Dance 4. I guess he had to answer Usher's appearance with Dance Central 3. Aisha Tyler is an entertaining host. Awesome that we had somebody from Archer on there. A huge fan of Archer, so seeing Aisha Tyler up there was kind of exciting. And so much better than Mr. Caffeine. So glad they didn't go to him. Aisha Tyler's at least entertaining in the good way, where Mr. Caffeine was entertaining in all the bad ways. Far Cry 3, they showed a lot about that. Looks intense, trippy, heady, beautiful, edgy, all those words. Looks like a big-time game that's going to have to be played, hands down. Can't ignore this one. Rayman Legends for Wii U looks very much in the vein of Rayman Origins, and that's a fantastic thing. I was a big fan of Rayman Origins, so it's good that they're going along that path. Some really cool use of the tablet controller on the Wii U and co-op play. Great demo of a rhythm minigame too, played by the tablet player along with the other players. I think they sold me that Wii U was going to be the tablet to buy this game on, so good on them for that. Then they went on to Assassin's Creed 3, another really big Ubisoft title coming up. I noticed George Washington. Your character is clearly a Native American character. Looks like scaling buildings in other games is replaced mostly with trees and mountains in this. But it would seem to be pulled off pretty well, pretty fluid. Noticed using a human shield for musket fire, and that was pretty awesome. Looked like there's a lot to get excited about that game. There's a new shooter that's going to be meant for an esport from Trackmania developer called Shootmania. The demo showed 2 teams, 3 squaring off. It looks fast-paced, quick sessions, definitely up the alley of competitive shooters. People who like the Unreal Tournament games, maybe Quake Arena, Quake Live. Sounds like it'll be right up the alley. Looked like a lot of fun. I think I'll definitely give that one a shot. But it's also the kind of game I'd probably get my ass kicked repeatedly, but hey, you know, sometimes they're fun anyway. Then there was the Watch Dogs demo. This was the highlight of the show so far, undoubtedly. Incredible visuals, insane lighting, reflections off of rain on the streets outside look incredible. It's based on the existence of what's called CTOS, a persistent network containing all the information from all people and utilities in the city. And you apparently control a protagonist named Pierce who has access to this network. It showed disrupting communication of people in the area, knowing all about a person at a glance. Looks like the possibilities are endless. Just went to the top of the anticipated list of a lot of people after they showed the demo for this game. That was big. Conclusion for that one, great conference. They got rid of Mr. Caffeine, replaced with Aisha Tyler. Solid showing of some fantastic looking titles. Stuff we expected like Far Cry 3 and Rayman Legends. And then the completely unexpected Watch Dogs, which is now officially a bombshell. No details on platform or release date, but I did see on an interview following the conference on G4 TV, they did confirm that it's current gen, but apparently the demo was performed on a very high-end PC, which explains the visuals. Still, that means maybe we can look forward to that coming before we have to wait for new consoles, which is great news, even if it might be 2 or 3 years off. Just speculating there. Then there was Sony's conference. They showed the new Quantic Dream game, Beyond, starring Ellen Page as Jodie Holmes. Looks like she has supernatural powers. Looks like more in common with Indigo Prophecy than Heavy Rain in that regard if you played the older Quantic Dream game. Very impressive visuals. Everything we saw was apparently in-engine, as they're famous for doing. Actually, Cage later in an interview discussed that Holmes is in contact with an entity, and you will control both Holmes and the entity. And all we know about the release is that it's coming next year. Don't know much else about it. I was a fan of the other Quantic Dream games. They're not perfect, but I still enjoyed them enough to know that this is going to be a day one purchase for me. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Definitely Sony's version of Super Smash Bros. Officially coming to the Vita too, which is great, and will be cross-compatible with the PS3. This is a pretty cool feature. They showed a demo of cross-play, showing 2 players on PS3 and 2 on the Vita. They were playing as Kratos, Sweet Tooth, Sly Cooper, and Fat Princess. It looked like a lot of fun. It looks like the crossplay is completely seamless. Then they showed Uncharted music and showed the Big Daddy and the PlayStation All-Stars logo, so we know what to expect there. You're going to be able to play as Nathan Drake and the Big Daddy as well. Then they started showing out the Vita as a cross-controller for the PS3. Looks like PS3 will use the Vita as a controller, much like the Wii U uses the tablet controller. Everyone's getting on board there. 60 new Vita titles coming in 2012, including digital-only titles. PlayStation 1 classics officially coming to the Vita, thank God. No word on whether or not they need to be purchased again. I really hope I don't have to buy them again. They should already be in my download list. I should just be able to load them into my Vita. They didn't mention anything about that, so I'm hoping I don't have to go buy them all over again, personally. YouTube's coming to the Vita as well as Hulu Plus and Crackle. That's pretty cool to get Hulu Plus on the Vita. And a Call of Duty Black Ops game, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified coming to the Vita. Just a matter of time. Maybe they can start pushing that more and start selling more of these units. It's a great console, hasn't been getting up attention. Fortunately, not enough games have been coming out, in my opinion. And there's also an Assassin's Creed game coming to Vita. It looks like a game that goes right along with Assassin's Creed 3, where you're a female assassin. It's called Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. Coming on October 30th, along with the Vita bundle that comes with a crystal white Wi-Fi Vita. It kind of looks nice, so it might entice a lot of people to buy for the holiday season. They showed another Assassin's Creed 3 demo showing captaining a ship, which looked awesome. Battling another ship, shooting cannons at each other. Great visuals, the ocean looks awesome. Amazing moment when the ships are close together side by side shooting cannon volleys. We've got a huge applause. And they pulled up alongside and had everyone leaping from one ship to the other to invade. Great looking stuff. And also announced that new PlayStation 3 bundle that comes with Assassin's Creed 3 and DLC is going to be available the holiday as well. They showed off more Far Cry 3. Showed off 4-player co-op on the PS3. Looks like there are group buffs, team objectives, team revives. Looks completely separate from the single-player campaign, and they actually confirmed that there's a dedicated 4-player co-op campaign. Pretty awesome, and PlayStation 3 is also getting exclusive DLC apparently. No word on what that is, so maybe just a hat on somebody. Of course, they had to do the obligatory Move promotion. This is where they showed off the Wonder Book. Looks like a kid's peripheral for use with the PSI. I don't know what's very booky about it. There weren't many words involved in it. It was all very graphical. It looks pretty cool for kids. They did announce that they have a collaboration with J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame for this book called Book of Spells. That's cool, but they did a demo of this fire spell which fell flat, didn't work very well. I'm not sure I'm sold about this being a big peripheral. And they showed this one particular book, and that's all they really showed. So unless they really have some developers trying to make creative use of this Wonder Book, how far is this really going to go? The conference really came to a screeching halt when they got to this area. So, I mean, I did get some replies from you on Twitter. Did say that you were more excited about it than I was. So maybe there's something there that I'm not seeing, but it's not something I'm excited about. We'll see how it goes. I certainly don't want anything to fail, but not optimistic. There's a new God of War game that they demoed. Looks like your standard Kratos brutality. More of the same, but sometimes that's all we need from Kratos. You want more of the same, I'll play it. Finally, they gave us the new Naughty Dog IP, Last of Us. They showed some gameplay. It's beautiful looking. Basically looks like a really fancy cover shooter. I feel like I shouldn't have been watching on G4 because the entire demo was one big censor feed, but clearly there's a lot of cursing in the game. Very tense, had an active inventory. A lot to be excited about there. So the conclusion from the Sony conference was there weren't many surprises, but there was a whole lot of quality. Unfortunately, in my opinion, there wasn't enough on the Vita. I wanted to see a lot of support for the Vita this conference, and we got a lot of lip service, but no demos, only actually saw 3 games. And finally, we had the Nintendo conference. Opened up with Pikmin 3. That's just a game you're going to have to play, it seems. If you're going to get this console early, that's a must-buy. The other 2 Pikmin games are great. And Reggie came out, and they started giving the Wii U details. They said it stands to revolutionize your living room. Mentioned Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon Video. Today was all about being gaming and social, but apparently later we'll get more information about the media center capabilities of the console. Didn't get too much on that today. Then they talked about the Miiverse. So the first thing you see when you turn on the Wii U, you can send text messages, use a stylus, a la SwapNote on the 3DS. Lots of cool social options like sharing recent activity and scores. Finally, it looks like Nintendo is embracing the internet. Eventually, you can join Miiverse from the 3DS, the PC, smartphone, etc. It's good to see a real internet integration in the Nintendo console. We've had to wait way too long for that. Then they brought out new Super Mario Bros. U. It's got Miiverse social integration right within the game. We're seeing a picture of the overworld map with comments from other people as speech bubbles, which was pretty cool. Footage of the game looked great. It was very pretty. It really reminded me of the first time I saw Super Mario World on the Super NES. I was getting that familiar. I got to play this feeling like the first time I got on a Yoshi on Super Nintendo. I was playing it in a Clover store. I got that familiar feeling back, and it got me excited for that game. Showed off a bunch of third-party games. Batman Arkham City Armored Edition. Very cool use of the tablet for scanning, guiding the Batarang. Showed off something called the BAT mode. Had a Scribblenauts game, Scribblenauts Unlimited for the Wii U. Looks really nice in HD. Shows creating objects from scratch and naming them and then sharing them with your friends using the touchscreen. Then they went down a slew of other third-party games. Darksiders 2, Mass Effect 3, Tank, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Trine 2, Director's Cut, Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, Aliens Colonial Marines. A great stable of third-party support, basically spanning all genres. It's a pretty promising look from Nintendo there. Then they got to Wii Fit U, which looks interesting. It showed a girl doing squats in order to jump on a trampoline in the game. Kind of looks like legitimate workouts, much more so than the other Wii Fit. They showed a game called Sing. Looks like a karaoke game where the tablet shows the lyrics, emphasizing everybody dancing along. I'm not sure if it knows how you're doing it right. Party game, I guess. Not interested. Then they went on to the 3DS. They showed new Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. Different than the Wii U game, looks somehow like a huge emphasis on coins. Coins are everywhere in this demo, and the game will be out in the US on August 19th. So that's good to look forward to. There's a new Paper Mario game, still flat and paper looking, but it has a 3D feel. Has this new sticker mechanic where you can pull them off the environment, and almost looks like they're used as attacks in what looks like a turn-based battle option, and also used to help in the environment. Looks like it works well with the 3DS touchscreen. Cool new mechanic. New Luigi's Mansion game, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on 3DS this holiday season as well, boasting tremendous slate of third-party games. They went through a quick peek, which included a new Castlevania, Lords of Shadow game, Disney's Epic Mickey sequel, Scribblenauts Unlimited, Kingdom Hearts 3D, Dream Drop Distance, but that's all they're teasing right now. Then they brought out Lego City on the Wii U, which is a little bit of a surprise. Looks like a gigantic open world version of the Lego games, entertaining voice acting shown off, and also Lego City Undercover coming to the 3DS, which is a different game, but the same setting. Looked surprisingly entertaining, actually. I didn't see that one coming. Then they started with the Ubisoft promotion. It showed Just Dance 4 again. It looks like you can have 4 people dancing with Wiimotes, one person with a gamepad choosing what moves to do next and triggering events. That's kind of fun. And they showed off Zombie U, the Wii exclusive zombie game from Ubisoft, showing inventory work on it and scanning again on the tablet, using the tablet to aim and shoot with a sniper rifle. Really cool use of the tablet. Graphics look good. Looked kind of like the Left 4 Dead games, but more like CGI videos from those games. It was a nice looking game. They ran down some more: Assassin's Creed 3, Rabbids Land, Your Shape Fitness Evolved 2013, Rayman Legends, Sports Connection, not sure what was going on there, and then the Marvel Avengers game, apparently all coming to Wii U. And then the conference ended with a big emphasis on Nintendo Land. It's apparently a virtual theme park. Your Mii visits a theme park. There's a lot of attractions based on IPs. And it looked like basically a big demo for the Wii U, much like Wii Sports was for the original Nintendo Wii. Honestly, it kind of looks like maybe it's a decent version of what Sony has been trying to pull off with PlayStation Home. The conclusion from that conference is there's certainly a lot to look forward to with the Wii U. New Super Mario Bros. U looks great. Good to see a new Pikmin game. We just have to get our hands on this thing and try it. I wish we saw some mention of other IPs, new or classic, like Metroid or Zelda, but there was a nice group of third-party titles mentioned, and it'll be interesting to see how the launch lineup shapes up as we get closer to the holiday season. So how did the whole conference go this year? Well, Nintendo obviously had the most to bring to the table with the Wii U, but the conference itself wasn't quite as exciting as a lot of people had hoped. Sony looked like it had a solid group of exclusives upcoming, even if the conference really slowed down for the Wonderbook demo, which I'm still pretty undecided on. Still the new Quantum Dream title Beyond, and of course The Last of Us are some big things to look forward to. I wasn't satisfied with the amount of attention shown to the Vita though. Would have liked to see more of that. Microsoft really didn't seem to have too much going on apart from promoting third-party titles and more Kinect integration, the likes of which we've seen before multiple times. Halo 4 is cool, of course, but the high point was Tomb Raider, and that's a multi-platform title. Electronic Arts has a solid lineup of games, and while Dead Space 3 looked like a departure in a bad way, SimCity looks awesome, and I'm personally very excited about EA joining up for a UFC game. Ubisoft for me, though, was the surprise of E3. Assassin's Creed 3, the Vita title to go along with it, Rayman Legends, Far Cry 3, and there are others, but the big game was Watch Dogs. That's the consummate IP to look forward to. I can't wait to hear more about it. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about that game for some time, hoping we hear more about it. So now the official E3 convention is underway. The conferences are over. That's what we got. Thanks for visiting Default Prime, and thanks for watching the Bowlingotter Show. Hope you come back and see what else we got in store on the website. Thanks a lot.